Good morning and welcome to today's episode. It is October 4th, 2020 on a lovely, absolutely lovely Sunday morning. I'm in a very good space. I can see the trees in the forest, and I can see the forest, which is all about the bigger picture. You know, the old line, I can't see the forest for the trees, which means that I am focusing, or was, or could be, still am, who knows, focusing on the minutia instead of the grander scale or the grander theme or whatever you want to call this. I'm not saying anything I haven't said on a video before. I am not saying anything that I have not said on a video before. I feel very blessed that I have the ability to look at the minutia of an event or a situation or something going on in my life, and then also step back and look at it from broader perspective. It's kind of like this spiritual experience that astronauts have when they go out into space and look at the planet from far away. And when we look at the planet from far away, it looks pretty good. And when I am too much into the minutia, I'm in trouble. I am in trouble. But it is a balance. We obviously have a very fascinating experience going on here in the United States at the moment. For those of you who are watching this in the future, supposedly the President of the United States, or the supposed President of the United States, sorry, I can't not be a little cynical, supposedly has COVID. And I don't know how that's all going to unfold. And I have taken the time to acknowledge that this is going on. That this is the narrative going on at the moment. And I'm glad that I took the time to acknowledge that. And now it's been acknowledged. And it's time for me, personally, to step back from it. Voltaire said, "Tend to your own garden." If I'm tending to my own garden, then I don't add to the collective energy. Because there is a collective energy going on that's not really very healthy. Not healthy for the individual, and certainly not healthy for society as a whole. But it's a balance. I have to acknowledge that this is the reality going on. It is so important to acknowledge that. There's a lot of people in the transformational and spiritual community that just says, oh, well, I don't think about that. Really? That's just another way of creating separateness. Because it is part of what's going on. Now, we have all kinds of opinions. I've already expressed mine. I'm not necessarily even in belief that this is a true fact. However, regardless of whether it's a true fact or not, this could all be a ploy. Regardless, it's still a significant event, and one that I have a responsibility as a human being to at least acknowledge. But I also have another part to being a human being, and that is to tend to my own garden. Stay in my own hula hoop. And pray. And pray and pray and pray for the disconnection from that energy. You know, like what I was saying a few moments ago about people saying, spiritual and woo-woo people and all that saying, well, I just don't think about that. Well, the fact that you even make that statement means that there is a hook there. There is a cord there. And so my take on it is figure out a way of letting the cord go. Not going into denial that it doesn't exist. It does exist. But it is also my perspective, just like it is your perspective. And my responsibility as a human being on this planet and part of the narrative is to not get overly hooked and tend to my garden and prayer. Prayer, prayer, prayer. Because the more that I disconnect from that, it lessens the power. It lessens the power that those things and events have over me. But it also lessens the power of the people that are doing the deed. I've said all along that the best way, and I said this years ago, the best way to throw the orange blob into complete conniption fit is for nobody at all to pay any attention to him, even for a day. Reporters walk away. Congress doesn't do anything. You know, his inner circle is going to pay attention to him anyways because, you know, it's their bread and butter. You know, they're grifting on the grifter. But the more, can you imagine one day where we went on, now Fox News is a different story, but if we went on and on NBC and MSNBC, CNN, the New York Times, the Washington Post, Huff, Politico, PBS, the NewsHour, everybody reported on something other than having anything to do with the orange blob. How much power would be taken away at that point? How much power would be given back to others? When we focus on the problem increases. When we focus on the answer increases. And I also don't know what's best. But I do know as long as I focus on the problem increases. It destroys me just as much as it destroys others. So there's a delicate balance. I have to acknowledge, I need to educate, and then I need to step back, and I need to pray. And pray for the disconnection, because I am creating this. I am part of the creation. I am not separate from the rest of you, and you are not separate from us or him or anybody on the planet. The illusion of separation in this world right now, and particularly because of technology, is unfathomable. And that's why people are lost. And that's why people are committing suicide. And that's why cancer is rampant right now. And that's why COVID is rampant right now. It's just another exit strategy out of disconnection and a way of getting back to connection. So why not attempt to do that while I'm here? And the same to you. Why not attempt to do that while you're here? If you need work with that, I'm good. Willing to help. Thank you so much for listening today. Merci beaucoup, bonne journée.